A recent B patch hit 13-19 with nerfs to some reroll carries in Samira and Cho'Gath, which means some new variations and units are starting to pop off instead. So without further ado, here is our updated top 5 comps for you to abuse this patch. Starting off at number 5, we have Riding Shotgun. So rogues have been performing pretty well this mid-set so far, but riding shotguns takes another turn, as your main carry in this comp will actually be the lowest cost rogue, Graves. Your full comp uses Graves, Ekko, Katarina, Jinx, Nico, Qiyana, Aphelios and Jace. And for the legend to play, we'd recommend going for Lee Sin to make sure you hit your 3-star carries as soon as possible. As a slow roll comp, you want to lose early and then roll at level 4 and 5 to 3-star your main carry Graves. Whilst doing this, you'll also want to pick up every copy of Jinx you see to use her as a secondary backline carry as well. And then you'll bring in the rogues to carry the late game too. At level 8, you'll run 4 rogues and 4 gunners, and as long as you've got the right items, you will seriously hurt. Speaking of items, your early carry Graves wants a BT, Titan's Resolve and Asterix Gauge, so he can deal tons of damage and stay alive at the same time. Jinx though wants full AD with Infinity Edge, Last Whisper and Giant Slayer. After that, you want to throw any offensive items onto Kata and Ekko, especially if you manage to hit these 3-starred as well. Any leftover defensive items can go onto your Nico, but only if you really don't have any other options, as this is a much more offensive focus comp. For augments, a Rogue Heart's Crest or Crown, as well as the Rogue specific augment Vampiric Blades are such good augments here, as most of your board does revolve around those vicious assassins. Other strong augments include Lee Sin's Trade Sector or Money reroll augments, as well as any form of Jeweled Lotus, to make your rogues hit harder than they already do. Coming in at number 4, we have Noxus Empire with a full Noxian board and Mordekaiser as your main carry, slapping enemies down one by one. You'd also use Swain as a main tank and the late game powerhouse Azir as a Noxus emblem holder and secondary carry. You'll complete your comp with Sion, Aatrox, Darius, Katarina and Cassiopeia. For the legend to play, you can use 2 options here. You can go for Twisted Fate to make sure you get the right items, or you can go for Earth to secure that Noxus emblem. This is a default leveling comp that wants you to save up gold and play around level 7 to lock in that 7 Noxus trait bonus, as well as finding and gearing up your main carries Mordekaiser and Azir. Now for items, Mordekaiser has 2 different builds to go for. He can be played as a melee carry with Edge of Night, Quicksilver and Jeweled Gauntlet. But if you don't find Azir or don't find the Noxus emblem to put on Azir, you can load Mord up as a backline attack speed carry instead, with Rapid Fire, Nash's Tooth and Rage Blade. Send all tanky items onto Swain with Dragon's Claw, Bramble Vest and Redemption being perfect, and send all remaining AP and attack speed items onto Azir after you've given him the emblem. For your augments, your highest priority is securing that Noxus emblem, so a Heart's Crest or Crown or even something like Dedication are all fantastic choices. Aside from that, then there's Total Domination to buff up your Noxus board, Scoped Weapons for the extra range and attack speed on your carries, or Twisted Fate's Pandora's items. If you do want to see our Noxus Empire comp explained in more detail, then don't forget we have expert video guides for all of the strongest comps every patch over on our website. So download our desktop app and watch these videos even in the loading screen before you get stuck in. Coming in at number 3, we have Bruiser Bite, or better known as Cho'Gath. As you probably know by now, this comp is all about that beefy Cho'Gath Bruiser as your main tank in the frontline. Bruisers have been crazy consistent this mid-set so far, and now we're using Cho'Gath, Renekton, Cassiopeia, Rek'Sai, Sion, Sejuani, Ryze and Vi. For the legend to play, we'd recommend going for Lee Sin to help you out when rerolling, or Caitlyn to get earlier access to 2-starred carries. The strategy for this comp is simple. You want to stay as low level as possible until you 3-star your 1 costs Cho'Gath, Renekton and potentially Cassiopeia too. Then you can level up to 8 and activate 6 bruisers and stall the fights for as long as you need to. Now for items, you definitely want to gear up your Cho'Gath with tank items first and foremost, with Bramble Vest, Dragon's Claw and Redemption being ideal. Renekton is also pretty good with tank items too though, so if you do actually find him 3 stars earlier than Cho'Gath, you can use the cloaks and vests on him instead, with Sunfire Cape, Ionic Spark and Warmogs. As for damage, you have Cassiopeia, who you ideally want a 3-star as well, and she definitely wants a blue buff to make her cast as much as possible, along with some nice damage in Jeweled Gauntlets and Giant Slayer. For augments, a Bruiser Heart's Crest or Crown will make playing this comp a piece of cake, as you won't even have to rely on finding Sion to activate 6 bruisers. Titanic Strength is also an insta pick, but as a heavy reroll comp, you shouldn't sleep on Golden Ticket, Training Reward or Caitlyn Stars Are Born. At number 2, we have one of the most popular comps this mid-set so far, Boss Blades. So Sett takes most of the frontline in this comp, bolstered by an only a heavy roster and a damage dealing duo of Ashe and Jhin. Alongside that, we also use Shen, Xayah, Darius and Karma. As for the legend to pick, we'd recommend Caitlyn to swiftly secure that 2-star Jhin and Ashe or Sett as well. This is another slow roll comp with a focus on level 6 where you want a 3-star Sett and Ashe, as well as your 1-cost Ionian Jhin too, before hitting level 7 to get your remaining Ionians online. When it comes to items, Sett survives longest with pure tank choices like Redemption, Bramble and Dragon's Claw. Ashe wants a Deathblade and Last Whisper along with her Ionia emblem, and then Jhin wants a ton of AD as well, with Deathblade, Rageblade and Giant Slayer. For your augments, any Ionia or Vanquisher Heart's Crest or Crown are good signs for you to commit to this comp. Securing Sett, the boss augment, is also insane here, but you will have to have him solo in the frontline for this one. Caitlyn's Stars Are Born works insanely well here too, as it will give you a free 2-star copy of Jhin and then either Ashe or Sett as well. But honestly, any other reroll augments like Golden Ticket are the best ones to slam. Finally, in the number 1 spot, we have the Enlightened Ones 2.0 for a second week running. This comp uses a full Ionia and Vanquisher combo similar to the previous comp Boss Blades, but this time with a default leveling focus playing around level 7 and level 8 instead. Xayah, Shen, Ahri, Nilah, Darius, Ashe, Sett and Jhin are the units you want to play, alongside those extra emblems which you'll find best with Earth as your legend. So this is a default leveling comp that revolves around hitting level 7 to secure your key 4-cost carries, Xayah, Shen and Nilah. Prioritize 2-starring these to stabilize before pushing for level 8 to complete your comp, and introduce the 5-cost Ionia Ahri as your final unit. For items, you definitely want to gear up Xayah as quickly as possible, as she just deals insane amounts of damage. She wants a Deathblade, Rageblade and a Guardbreaker first. Shen is your second priority as a main tank, with Evan Shroud for sundering along with Crown Guard and Warmogs for shielding and durability. And then you've got Ahri and Nilah, and aside from their respective emblems, Ahri wants mana and AP and Nilah wants sheer attack speed. For those emblems, this is where augments play the main role, so try and find a Vanquisher or Ionia Heart's Crest or Crown, as you really want one of both. You could also consider strong combat augments like scoped weapons or trait-specific augments like Sentinel Spirit or Stolen Vitality, as these will seriously boost up your comp strength by a ton. And that brings us to the end of our top 5 comps for you to play in patch 1319B. Don't forget to download Mobalytics and use our in-game overlay to see all the best items, comps and guides to help you climb in Sett 9.5. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, take care.